Good day, guys. So I'm working on this game for a while, testing out some of the comments that my subscribers have been asking me about. So here I've been able to create a scene here, and I want to review the character control, and I will show you how it was made. So if you play this game, you will actually see something here. You can be able to actually make this character move. Currently, it just has only one animation that is actually working with, so it doesn't have all the complex animation and the whole animation blending. We don't have that currently. So what we have so far is just the basic controls. Now my system is doing some rendering in the background, so it's going to be a bit slow, so sorry for that. So I can be able to actually move this character. I can move right, left, and go forward and also backwards. Right. So basically, that might not be the whole standard of how to make a character work, because we might need some more special stuff. So, but this beats a lot of things we actually see in the video scripting here online. So we can be able to use this to actually do something very, very interesting. So let's just go into it. So I've been able to I create this character in Blender. Okay. So the character was designed in Ready Player Me and brought into Blender. Okay, it was rigged, and other things were done to it, and the whole animation process especially. So maybe I'll see make tutorial of how I made this coin. I think I will make a better coin than the 3D coin, because this coin came from Godot itself. If you look at it, doesn't really have some kind of bevel or something there. So coming up here, we can be able to go to a soldier. And remember, your soldier has to be you have to put this code here if you want it to actually work properly. So the code has to be here, not in the separate scene for code. So if you click here, you actually open the character scene itself. So inside the character scene, you would see that we'll have a character. The character itself is a kinematic body, and before when it came, it wasn't a kinematic body, so I had to create a new kinematic body and parent it to it. Okay, so I had to change the main control for this character into a kinematic body. So if you right click and say change, what is that, change type, and you just type your kinematic body, and you can change it to a kinematic body 3D. So when you change that, it will enable it to be able to have collision, because when you point from Blender, if you watch my other video where I talk about how to import from Blender to Godot, actually see that it will come in, but it will not have a kinematic body here. So here you have your armature. So you don't have to worry about this one, because these are the things that will come in with your Blender. And then the skeleton system. What you should worry about is the animation player, which once you actually import your character, you see that it comes with animation. So these are the two animations I have: my walk forward here, and the other one for the gun. So but I'm not going to review the gun yet. Excuse me. So the first thing you want to do is you have to add your animation tree player. So you just go to animation tree animation tree. So if you click that, the animation tree player is deprecated, so you can just go for animation tree, you create it. So the animation tree enables you to be able to access everything you have in the animation player itself. So here you can be able to get different animations, and from here you can be able to make it loop. Okay, so in case you need to increase the animation or decrease the speed of it, you can click on it here and drag it back forward. So but I've optimized my character and it's working properly, so you can always loop any particular one you want. You can even delete it if you want to. So I'll make a separate tutorial on animation, just character animation, or working with the animation here, animation tree. Here it will be a different thing, so I just want to just focus on the character itself. So once you add this animation tree, you will come here and it will give you this output here, and you just click on animation. So when you click on that, you can be able to sorry, I have a cough here, and click on gentle walk forward. Okay, so when I do that, once I do that, I will connect this to my output. Okay, so the other blending things we can be able to do when we have multiple animation, but currently I'm just using one animation and I want to just stick to it. So when you click on that, you can be able to click on the animation tree player, and it will appear in your inspector here. And when you click on you actually see it's looping through animation. So that's the first thing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a control. So if you look at here, I would like to be doing this from here. So I'll click here and you see my controls for my character. Okay, now this is a bit heavy. So I'm going to remove all my test codes from here because I have a lot of test codes to actually make these things work. So let's remove this test code too. So I have my jump here, but I won't talk about the jump here. I will go into the character itself. So the jump is not working so perfectly, but it's good because we still have to put the animation for the jump here. So I added the physics process this time around. So because I want to run more than one process, so I have my physics process. So if you get the physics process, then I have just added a jump here. So just forget about this for the meantime. I will do that in another tutorial. So you drag this out. So when you drag it out, so if you've been following my tutorials, you actually know how to work with this. Drag it out, condition, open, and you see that there. So that is how the best way to do it. So right now I'm telling you that once it's done with this, next thing it should go for this particular code here. So I'll say when I press the up button. So now let me go into my controls also so that you actually see what is happening here. So I have my UI. Let me go down here. We'll have the UI up. So if you click on UI up here, you actually see this is my up button. Okay, for UI down, this is my down button. For let me go up a bit and see it for the left. So you have a left button. So if you want to know how to do that, so I think I'll also make a separate tutorial for the keys and mouse controls. So if I type, let's say for example I want to do forward movement, so forward, and click on add, and click on this, and click on key, I can press my up arrow and click OK, and forever and ever whenever I use my forward in my code, it will be using the up button. Okay, so that's how you create all the controls for the character. So to make this tutorial very short, I wouldn't want to go into details with all these things here. So the next thing is to get this. So right click, action, and enter. So this is for calling all the actions. So when an action is actually pressed or when a button is pressed. So you have other things like when it's released, just press. We're going to come to that very soon. So when you add this here, next thing you want to do is to go in and get move and collide. Sorry, let me do that again. So let me drop this back, right click, and move and collide. Now the reason why this is working is because this is a kinematic body. If it's not a kinematic body, you will not see move and collide. So you just open it, and then you can be able to connect it to this. So if you look at the axis here that I'm actually using, this is my z-axis. So now let's go back and see what it looks like. So my z-axis is the one going forward. If you look at it here, all right, that's the blue one, forward. So I'm doing that and I'm telling it, okay, I want you to move 0.3 units forward. Okay, now when it moves, don't worry about these ones here. I'm going to quickly explain that to you. So move in here and you set animation. Now let's talk about how to set the animation here active. So if you go back to this tree player here, so when you turn on this, it will keep on running your animation in for the character itself. Okay, so but then if you want it to, let's say for example, I'm going to remove that so it doesn't just keep running it for us. So if you go to your script, you can just click from here and drag it in here, and you have sorry, let me do it again. Let's select that and drag it into here. Alright, so I'm going to just quickly get this. Okay, this is my treasure animation. I think I'm in the wrong place. Okay, sorry, I'm here, meant to be here. So this is my tree animation for my soldier character. Sorry for that. So just get this and drop it here, and you see it's the same thing. So you just turn this into true and you connect this to that. Okay, so what you're basically telling it is that whenever you press the up button, it should move forward and also set the animation to be true. There is a problem with this particular thing, that when you do that, it will keep on moving and it might not work very well. So don't worry about this. I'll talk about this, how to out sound. We actually went to add sound here, but it was giving some issues, so we'll talk about that this for our work. So basically you should be able to add a work from here. So you just add your audio stream player too. So I'm not going to talk about that yet. So I'm going to add the action again, and I'll say when it's just released. So to do that, you click here and you say just released. So when it's just released, you want to have another condition here, and push down a bit, and you have another condition and say set animation again. So you just go and drag it and drop here, and you tell it to set it false. Okay, now remember we are getting this from the false, so that means when this is not true, okay, and this when it's false, when this condition is false and the button was just released, so you're checking when it's pressed, it's going to do that. When it's just released, all right, that's when the main condition itself is false. So if you just released it, it will set the animation to false, and also the animation footsteps to false too. So that's basically what you do. So the next thing you do is that you go for your done. When it's actually done with that, it goes for the next code. So you have the action UI down. So when you press the UI down, you can be able to actually have the other conditions here. So you have another condition, and you have the same move and collide, set animation, set animation tree active, and do the same condition here and set this to be false to the false. Okay, so I would have wanted to do this, but it's going to take a lot of time. So to make the tutorial short, I'm trying to just review the entire thing. So we'll have here just released. Okay, so when it just released, it will set the same animation to be false. So but remember, it's moving this time around negative to, unlike the other one, it's moving negative to the z-axis. Okay, so if you go down, you still have just released. So here we'll have our right, so it's going to go for right. Now right is a bit different, very important. So I'm going to just click on the press button here, and you have your, when you get your condition, so I have the rotation here. So to get this rotation, we're going to be rotating two major things. Now you don't want to do this in the soldier character here. You want to do it over here. Okay, from here, that's where you want to put your code when you're just doing. You just type attach scripts, but make sure you end this so that your code will be able to see the spatial, the world, or the root node. Okay, so coming here, we want to click on that, So if you look at here, we'll have the soldier character, and then this is the world, the special node for the world itself. So I'm just gonna first click drag this inside here. So rotate, and sorry, rotate, and we'll have vector 3. So you can just open that, so you have that, this and that, they are all actually the same thing, so don't worry yourself about that. I'm just trying to change some few things. So you just make it to be on the y-axis, because it will be on the y-axis. That's want to rotate, and then we'll have here minus 0.03. So now when you do this, this would be for the soldier itself, and then the next one will be here. Now you will need to do this. If not, you can rotate the character, but you will see that the problem will be that the world itself will not rotate. So you need to rotate also the world. So have that there, and you're going to do the same thing one here, but then you have to animate it opposite to it. So if you have watched my tutorial on how to rotate a character, you actually see why I implemented this. Someone was asking me to a way to be able to actually use one, just the self. But the thing is that when you use the self, it will rotate, but the world itself around it will not rotate. So you can be able to connect these two, just like we have done here. Okay. So once you do that, it will ensure that the character will actually rotate. And here we'll have set the animation tree player also on again. So you just go to animation tree player for your character, you go back here, select it, and you can be able to also make it work. Now there might be a problem you might encounter here. Maybe some of these things might not be on, so all you have to do is just to click on it and say let me see where that control is. I can do it from here. You select this, right click on it, and say make editable children. So you can click on that, and it will enable you to be able to edit the children of this particular character here. So if I just do that, make editable, you actually see them from here. You can get some of them into our code here. So basically I want to just go in here. So I have this my rotation here. So the same thing we have done, we'll go for the false, and we'll say when it is false and it's just released, please just stop the animation itself. Okay, so after that we'll have the UI left, and then we'll have the condition here, and the next one will still have that the same rotation here, the same way we have brought it from the soldier character in the main scene from this one, and that's the rotation for that. You just drag it in case you have not understood it. Rotate again. So once you do your rotates, it will rotate on the vector, so it will give you the velocity. So the same thing for here, the soldier character itself, and then for the world itself. And you set the animation also true, and when it's also false, when it's just released, so you just click on that. When it's just released, remember you select all your controls from here. See the forward we just created. So you can create your own buttons here. You can even create a joystick or touchpad, a touch screen button for your Android games. So you can be able to actually get this here and set this also to active. So basically that's everything you want to do for basic character with animation control. So if you want to be able to control your character, because most of the tutorials I've been doing, they are not real characters, just some very simple cubes or some capsules that are actually used for testing it out. But here we use a real character, so you can be able to make it move forward, backwards, left, and right. Like I said, is my screen capture software is actually slowing down my system here, so you can be able to move forward. Okay, so you can just move forward. So I'll put some lights here. So the coin is not yet responding. I will have to make it to be able to respond later. So you can just do whatever you want to do in this place. So rotate however you like. So that's all for today. So you can ask your questions in the comments, and I will be sure to develop some things. For the person that actually asked me about the camera control in my past tutorial, I've actually made the camera controls. So currently the I've not been able to make it to follow it in a very more realistic way. But for now, you can be able to use your mouse, your left and right mouse button, because the visual scripting cannot be able to use the mouse movement to be able to do that. It cannot get mouse movement. You can only do that in the 2D game development, but for now you can't do it in the 3D game development. So probably the developers will have to actually implement that particular feature too, so that it will enable those who do visual scripting to be able to develop a more complex and robust game using the visual scripting. So visual scripting is very wonderful, and it's very easy to use, and you can develop something very cool. And I will be doing my research and getting new contents for you. So please do subscribe and like my videos. And if you have any recommendations or any comments on the performance of my videos and the audio or whatever it is, I would love to hear that so that I can actually make more improvement. And have a nice day, guys, and create something cool. And let me see that. Thank you.